Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. Today's pick a card is how can we heal parental wounds? Now this subject, this topic has come up a lot as requests. I did an inner child reading in the summer and this was like a request from that reading. I also did a more shadowy video not long ago, and again this topic came up as a request, and I really wanted to take a look at what we can bring through to help you guys heal those, you know, any wounds that you feel you have, or how to release yourself and how to release certain pent-up energies. So what I'm going to be doing is, when you've picked your pile, I'm going to just allow spirit to take me energetically where we need to go, where there may be pent-up energy or where there may need to be a focus. It could be a change in mindset, it could be speaking about things to help them come out and clear. I'm just going to let spirit guide me and of course give me any directions and any advice on how you can work through these wounds. This is probably going to be a little bit triggering. I don't know what messages are going to come through yet, but if you are not in the frame of mind to be doing shadow work, you can, you know, leave this for a rainy day or leave this when you're ready. I don't mind. These videos are just here for whenever you need them. So just know that it may be a bit triggering. So if this isn't something you want to watch right now, or you don't feel like you want to be doing shadow, you know, work at all, that's completely fine. You can just click off. But I wanted to mention trigger warning because I don't know what's going to come up yet, but I know that these wounds can be very heavy and very deep rooted. So yeah, let's get into your piles. So pile number one, also shout out to the person that told me, because whenever I put the spheres, the crystal balls and stuff, they roll, and then somebody commented saying I could use a ring, and that works. So whoever commented that, thank you so much. So pile number one, we have the smoky quartz. Pile number two, we have the pink moss agate, and pile number three, we have the clear quartz. So see which crystal you, oh goodness, oh my god, see which crystal you are drawn to. The timestamps are going to be in the description box as usual, and I will see you guys at your timestamp. Hey pile one, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at how we can heal parental wounds. So you guys chose the smoky quartz. I'm going to start with tarot and then we're going to move on to your oracle card. So let's get in. So pile number one, please spirit guides. Pile number one, when I'm taken to your inner child and your childhood self, I'm being shown a starfish. Starfish are very delicate and they have you know, the little, I don't know what they're called, little tentacles at the end of their, I don't know what the arms are called, the starfish arms, but underneath they have, if you've ever seen the underneath, there's like loads of little tiny little, I don't know what they're called, I don't know what they're called, but they're almost like little tentacles, and I feel like the strong clairsentience, like I'm feeling along the ocean floor with these, you know, I'm taking everything in with these. I'm like, they're almost like responses and letting me know what's going on. So I feel like in your earlier life, I feel like you guys were, well, you still are, but I feel like this was very open, strongly like clairsentient. I feel like you guys were strongly clairsentient. I still see that you guys are, but whenever you get taken to like an inner child, not inner child, to somebody's childhood self, I always find energy wise anyway, all gifts are strong and high, and then as life, you know, kind of goes on, there's almost distortions that can cover it, and you know, wounds that can cover things. And I feel like one thing that's always stayed very strong though is that clairsentience. I feel like you've always been able to pick up things, feel things, take in energy and transmute it very well. Very good at that. I'm literally being shown a hoover, like a vacuum, and I'm clearing things. So there's a vibe of that. Some of you guys may be healers, and work in those professions where you hold space for people. I feel like you guys would be very good at energy work because I feel like it flows through you very well, but you also take it on very well as well. So pile number one, please, spirit guides. Pile number one. I keep wanting to reference the softness though. Your softness. Because it's almost like an environment for that soft starfish, you know. It's going to need the water. It's going to need that flow. It's going to need that same type of environment, you know, to flourish. There's a strong reference of that. Pile number one. How can my pile number ones heal their parental wounds? We have the Five of Cups. How can my pile number ones heal parental wounds? Ace of Cups. Pile number one, please, spirit guides. Pile number one. I want to say your peace should come first, and that may sound alien to you. For the starfish to function and for the starfish to flourish, it needs to be in the sea, or it's going to dry up. You know what I mean? It needs to be an environment in which it can flourish. But if you put a starfish in a volcano, that's not going to happen. If you take the starfish out of the land, it's going to dry up. If you place a starfish in conditions in which it can't grow and evolve and you know, tap into its natural rhythm, the function isn't going to be there. So for the starfish to have, you know, its functioning, working well, it needs to be in an environment for that, you know. And there's a strong reference of like needing peace, stability and calm. But this starfish, I'm being shown starfish among chaos, which makes me feel like a lot of your earlier life, there would have been a lot of chaos. And if it wasn't chaos in the sense of just loads of things happening, it could be that you had a specific parent that may have been very explosive with their emotions. I'm actually being shown somebody giving emotion and then withholding it. Withholding emotion. Withholding those feelings. It's then creating my emotions to become erratic, because it's like I don't know what I'm going to get. This person's happy one moment, angry the next, frustrated the next, shouting, chaos, and I don't function that way. And I'm kind of being taken in a spin. There's a starfish kind of taken in a spin, you know. Yeah. Pile number one. Let me get one more card and I'll continue to channel. Pile number one. Three of Wands. Okay. The Hierophant is at the back of the deck as well. We have the Three of Wands and the Hierophant. One thing I'm going to say is you are constantly clearing and working through parental wounds, as well as anything that, you know, you guys have been through or experienced. You actually do it naturally, I'm being told. I see somebody sitting down, feeling things and purging them. And I want to say that you're doing extremely well in doing that. You're actually very good at doing it, and you're doing extremely well. Some of you guys may be in therapy. I keep hearing trauma therapy, so some of you guys may be there. There's a focus also on the physical body, so I'm being told that you guys are actually doing extremely well. But I'm then being taken inside, and there's internal currents of emotions, and it's almost like choppy water. And what we're wanting to do is calm that water, because specifically with the healing of parental wounds, I'm not necessarily... Okay, I'm more so being taken to a storm that a parent would have created within you, rather than needing to heal how I'm viewing a parent or what a parent has done. It's almost like I'm able to see from a higher perspective, and I'm able to also purge and feel the emotions that come with it. But inside, it's my inner current that has fallen victim to this, and I want to balance this out, which is where I'm being taken to. And the reason that the water is choppy like this is because of the current that was placed within me I want to say for years. I don't even want to say from young. It's like for years. Because I keep seeing somebody erratically switching gears on how they're responding to things, their feelings, and there's somebody that's not in control of their own emotions and getting triggered constantly. So then I see you guys, anytime you're trying to calmly set a boundary or calmly trying to make a difference or make a change, it's almost like then I'm under attack. This is supposed to be a calm way of doing it, but because I'm standing up for myself, because I'm saying the word no, I'm being attacked for this. This is being I'm being punished almost for this, especially in earlier years. So there's almost this feeling like I need to keep quiet and I need to calm the storm, which is then taking me out of my natural current, maybe into forms of people pleasing, because I'm even seeing from young somebody going, this is what I need, but I'm not getting this when I should be. And because of that, it's almost like, see, this is the thing, I see you guys are healers because there's a fixing energy of, I'm a starfish, I'm in the water, I need calm, I need, you know, I need this type of environment. I'm not being given it. Why am I not being given it? Very early on going, well, you're the reason I'm not being given this. Like, smart, like you guys are going, you're the person not doing this. Why is this? Why are you causing this kind of friction for me? And I see you seeing a parent and going, wound here, you're being triggered here, you're getting angry because of this, you're getting, so it's almost like, right, first off, I need to fix this. I need to calm this person's storm. So anytime that this person is exasperated or frustrated, I'm either going to play small and keep myself safe, or I'm going to almost people please. I'm going to jump out of my energy. Then I'm finding that it's actually not safe to be in my energy at all, because, you know, maybe you had to look after siblings. Maybe you had to look after other people. Or maybe you just weren't able to express yourself properly. There's this feeling of like, I can't cry because one, if I cry, it's going to upset this person. The current's then going to start shifting and changing. But also, there's almost this feeling, if I cry, this person's going to cry 10 times harder. It's not even worth crying, so I'm just going to repress this. I'm going to repress this feeling. This need to do, the need to take care of me, the need to be nurtured. It's almost like I'm repressing, because it's like a ticking time bomb. Like, somebody's emotions aren't neutralized. Somebody's emotions are unstable, and I have to be the one to calm it. So I will become what you need me to be. You need a helper, I'll be a helper. You need a giver, I'll be a giver. You need a healer, I'll be a healer. You need someone to talk to, I'll be that. You know, I'll step up. And it wasn't your place to step up. That wasn't what you were supposed to be doing from young. But it's like I'm naturally taking this in very intelligently, to going, this person needs healing, this person needs this person needs that, to the point that you then forget about your needs, your feelings, your emotions, because it's almost like I then become desensitized. I become desensitized to my own climate, you know? I become desensitized to my own feelings. What do I want? That's alien to me then, you know? So then, anytime that because I'm clairsentient, I can feel, I can read a room. So when I know that somebody's annoyed, when I know there's danger, when I know that somebody's frustrated, this then bleeds onto other people, because this is what I've learned. This is one of the first things I've learned in life. I need to keep myself safe, and I need to keep this current stable, because I learned that this then comes with a lot of feelings that I don't want to feel. So my shadow self's protecting me. My inner child's protecting me. These are feelings I don't want to feel. This person's going to shout. This person's going to, you know, I'm hearing throw things. I'm hearing that as well. Or this person's going to try and intimidate me, or I don't think I can take this on, or it's going to be my fault. And I don't want to feel these feelings. They're scary. They're too much for me to handle at this young age. So the shadow self's like, well, we don't want to feel these. I'm going to protect you. Let's play small. Let's make sure everyone's sought out for. So then I'm growing up and I'm going into school and I'm keeping myself small and I'm being what people need. And I can feel that maybe this person doesn't like me or that person doesn't like me. So I'm changing it. You know, I'm changing this. This person doesn't like this of me. This person doesn't, I'm changing it. To be this person's friend, they like it when somebody's like this and that. Well, let me tailor myself to their current. And I'll flow into their current and I'll do what they need me to do. You know? Oh, this person's not actually even in the sea. This person's a cheetah. So the starfish then, you know, waddles onto land and is trying to run with the cheetah, because it's like, let me tailor myself to your frequency. What do you need? What do you need? Because I'm taught then that my purpose and what I'm here to do are what I'm, how I can receive respect back, worthiness back, the good feelings, quote unquote good feelings, the validation, how I'm going to experience that back is being the one that helps people, being the one that gives, tailoring myself, pouring into people. This person's got a wound, no problem. I can heal that. This person's got this, I can heal that. So then I'm looking at friendships and relationships, and I'm not looking at what would I like, because I don't know what I like. I'm not looking at what do I want. I don't know what I want. But I know what keeps the peace and keeps the current nice and smooth. So what does this person want? Oh, this person wants me to be chirpy. Oh, I'll be chirpy. But I feel low today. I feel depressed today. I feel sad today. I'm not feeling good today. I'm going through things. I don't want to be chirpy. But I can't show that. I have to repress it. This person needs sunshine. I'll be the sunshine. And then what happens is people then start to expect that. So what then happens is when you need to take time out, because this gets exhausting, then you're taking on people's feelings, you're taking on people's emotions, and probably a lot of that time you're still living with this parent, so you're taking on theirs, which is what causes it, the chaoticness. Then you're taking on school, college, relationships, work, whatever. So you're taking on both, right? And you're exhausted. So rightfully so, there's going to be a moment where you crash. You're going to feel depleted. You're going to want to, you know, isolate and deal with all of these feelings. And in those moments, I'm actually being told, you've done a great job in purging, clearing, cleansing. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of that. Let me clear this. Let me, you know, you've done a great job at that. But then it's almost like people are like, well, where's the sunshine gone? Where's the giver gone? Where's the helper gone? Where's it gone? And then it's almost like they're internalizing it. Well, you're not doing this for me. You're not doing that for me. When it should never have been you being the one validating everybody's feelings and validating this and that. What about you? But people didn't think of that then because they were taken from you. And you weren't even aware of your own needs either. So then it becomes this cycle of, I must give. Because then when I'm not giving, this friend is annoyed at me. And it's creating this balance. And as time goes on, I'm forgetting about my needs. I'm forgetting about what I deserve. And I feel emotional saying it because it's like, you deserve, like, the love that you give out. You deserve that back. You know, you deserve to be nurtured. You deserve space to feel the capacity of what you're feeling. You deserve to say the word no because you don't feel like it. Not because of 100 million excuses. No, because this is happening and this is happening. There's almost this feeling like, to say no, I have to think of a really good excuse. No, you don't. If you don't feel like it, you don't feel like it. You know? If you're feeling sad, you don't need to bring a receipt of why you're feeling sad and why you're allowed to grieve certain emotions. You're just allowed to be sad. Because I see you almost with friendships and it's like, I was moving this way. I wasn't showing up because of X, Y, Z, Z, B, D, all of this. And it's like, no, you weren't showing up because you couldn't in that moment. You were just experiencing feelings and that is okay. Or you couldn't show up there because you were exhausted or fatigued. That is okay. You're not a bad person for having needs and wants. You should have needs. You should have wants. And I feel like from early on, you were taught, I can't have these. And when I put in a boundary, it's wrong. I'm being told it's wrong. And this is where the parental wound then comes in, because it's almost like, if I can't fix you or heal you, I'm not worthy. You know, if I can't calm your waters, I'm the one in the wrong. And it creates this power dynamic between said parent. If we go back to the root, it creates a power dynamic, and it creates this give and take. I do because you say. it's almost like I then become a slave to what it is you want or what you need, you know? And you're demanding this from me, and you're telling me that I'm wrong and I'm bad if I say no, you know? And that's where we need to cut that. We need to really look in the mirror and ask ourselves, well, what do I need? You know, and a lot of you have started doing this, and the message here is to keep doing it even stronger than before. Because there's also a reminder that healing is not linear, and sometimes you're going to fall back into old patterns, or sometimes there's going to be moments where you may back down from saying something if you don't like it, and you may fall back from saying something because somebody's pushing back at you. There are going to be moments like that. There are. Because healing isn't linear. But the more you hold space for yourself and you allow these feelings to come through, you know, I always deal with guilt, you know, that I can't do X, Y, and Z, even though I go above and beyond anyway, you know. But you're almost being called to sit in that feeling and allow that feeling to release, because when you're feeling guilt, or you're feeling shame, or you're feeling sadness or anger, or, you know, when your boundaries are being stepped over, that means that something is arising within you. Feel those emotions, because I keep being shown, like, even in friendships and relationships with you guys as well, like, I see you guys slowly unraveling and starting to settle into your true energy of, like, this is what I like, this is what I desire, this is how I move. And then I see people almost trying to project onto you, or trying to move that, or getting annoyed, and then there's this feeling within you of, like, and again, it's going to be different. There's sadness, there's grief, there's maybe even abandonment at times when they don't then want to reciprocate that back to you. What you're actually being told to do is actually just sit with that feeling. Nothing more. You don't need to push yourself outside of this. You just need to sit with the feeling and honor it and allow it to pass. That's your inner child that would have felt that feeling very early on, you know, when they tried to express a boundary, or they tried to say no and they had to repress it. It's been pushed down. And now, because life is a mirror, friendships, relationships, or even maybe still the same people are hitting that wound for you. Allow these emotions to come up, even when it's anger, even when it's frustration. You know, I just said no and you're still pushing. Allow that anger to come up and feel it, you know. You're allowed feelings, you're allowed emotions, you're allowed to just chill just because. You're also allowed to have fun too. Like, I almost see somebody saying to somebody here, I don't know why I keep being shown a forest. You may live by trees in, like, a forest, but I see somebody really wanting to go out in nature, right? So it's one of you guys, it's part of the collective. I see somebody wanting to go out in nature, and they've been busy all week. So they've worked, right? They've worked. They maybe been healing as well, so they've been purging, you know. They've been maybe taking care of themselves, maybe going to the gym and things like that. Or maybe they've been looking after people or whatever. They have one day, right? One day, and they want to go to a forest, right? Or go for a walk, or tune into nature. And they want to do it, and somebody's saying, oh, well, can I see you this day? Or can you do this for me this day? And there's almost this feeling of, well, no, because I was going to do this. And then I see somebody almost expecting this person to move that day, like, oh, well, you're off on this day, so we can do that day. You can see me on that day. Not thinking, hang on a minute, this person's just had 6 days straight of doing X, Y, and Z and haven't been able to settle and ground yet. What do you mean they can do this day? That they deserve peace. If they want to go walk in a forest, walk in a forest. If they want to go down by the beach, they're allowed to do that. That's their needs. That's what they're wanting to do. They need to restore their energy. And I see somebody being like, oh, so you have time to do this, but you can't do this. And it's like, yes, you don't need to give an excuse for that. You really don't. I don't know where that's come from. I don't know. Maybe it's just an example, but I see somebody going, well, if you're going here, then you may as well do this for me. Why can't you just do this for me? Or if you're popping to town, you may as well go and buy that for me, or go and pick up this for me in that other store. And it's like, why? You know what I mean? Why? It's almost like, well, you should. And no. You need to stand. What you need to do in regards to healing this parental wound is really sit in the feelings that arise when you're, you know, putting these boundaries out and taking time out for you. And you need to pull back into you. This isn't a linear cycle, and this isn't something that happens overnight. me, myself, I'm still working through this, and I know I will be probably for years to come, pouring into me, getting to know me, getting to understand my needs, getting to understand my feelings. This is a process you guys are on too. Rome was not built in a day. You are going to have moments where maybe sometimes you do retract your opinion, or you do try to hide away. There are going to be moments like that, but when that happens, sit in the feeling of what it is, instead of punishing yourself for not putting that boundary in, or not standing up for yourself, because it's self-love we're giving here, you know, and pouring into ourselves. We want to sit with the feeling. Why didn't you want to say that to that person? Why not? Sit with it, feel it, cry, grieve, be angry, feel it, allow that feeling to come out, you know, because it's that feeling that was trapped that is causing the shadow self then to go, keep the peace. You don't need to keep the peace. You are supposed to take up space. You are entitled to every feeling that you have. You're entitled to off days. You're entitled to not feel in the mood today. You're entitled to rest, you know. And especially if you guys, you know, some of you guys menstruate, you know, following that cycle in itself. There's going to be days where you're super fatigued. There's going to be days where you don't want to show up at the gym. There's going to be days where you don't want to be extending yourself. You're going to need to rest. Listen to it. Listen to your body. The more you love yourself, the more you listen to your inner currents, and the more you flow with them, the more you're going to grow from that. Because to be honest with you, with the person that we're talking about, I think that you guys are very wise. I think that you guys know that it's not your job to fix or heal this person. I think that you guys know that this person may have a lot going on in their inner world. Some of it they may not be addressed, and some of it they may be, but that there may be a lot there, and their emotions are a little bit erratic. But you didn't sign up to be anybody's therapist or counselor or anything like that. In regards to your connections, maybe you're a therapist and counselor now for your job, or you know, you work with spirit and all of that for your job, because there's a helping giving nature here. You may be a carer as well, but you didn't sign up for that in your connections, you know, in your immediate connections. And I'm not saying you know, in our connections it's a give and take. Of course we give, but we do it also to take back. And it's not supposed to be expected. We do it, and also we can only give what we have to give. And when we're drained, we need to pour into ourselves. What we're meant to do with the Temperance card, she makes sure that she is balanced. Her energy is balanced, and she's poured into herself first before she's able to give to anybody else. Otherwise, we're extending ourselves. We're going out of our current. When we give to people, we stay in our current. We hold our frequency. And then whatever is left from that cup that is filling over, then we give that out. You know, because you have naturally a given nature, because I feel like you are healers. You are here to help and give to people, but not at the expense of your own feelings, not at the expense of your own, not at your detriment. You're meant to pour into yourself first, and you deserve that. And going back to that would have been seeded within early on, that is where you're being called to focus. And you just do that by listening to your body, listening to your feelings. When you want to say no, say no. When something annoys you, say it. And in moments where you can't, and you feel like you can't because that trigger comes up, sit with the feeling. Ask your body why. Don't be annoyed at yourself. Don't get frustrated at yourself, because this is an inner child going, I want to say this, but I received this back. I need to hide. So when something happens again and I want to say it, and then I feel like I can't because I'm protecting myself, I'm then being annoyed at myself, and then I want to repress it down even more, because why should I feel this? And that's where it began. We want to leave that lever off and let it come out and sit in it in comfortability. Because when we do start to put our boundaries in, we start to say no, and people start maybe projecting, because it does happen, it's happened to myself, it is going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable. Because we've been taught from early on, I need to give, I need to heal, I need to pour into people. I'm not worthy if I'm not. But now that we're understanding our worth and we're listening to who we are, you know, and we start to say, no, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. That feeling's going to be there for the first couple of times. That feeling's going to be there, especially when people are trying to push back. It's going to be there. It's going to be that. Sit in it, feel it. It's not my responsibility to feel whatever it is that you're projecting onto me, because I can't show up for X, Y, and Z. I can barely show up for myself right now, so I need to pour into myself first. You should always show up for yourself first, emotionally and energetically, to make sure that you are where you need to be before you give to others. Otherwise, you're depleting yourself. And relationships are give and take. They're not meant to be all given. you know? And you also want to listen to it. What do you need in your connections? The more you listen to your feelings and emotions, you'll know what you need. Do you like emotional validation? Do you need a safety net? Do you need a safe space to feel your feelings deeply? Do you need somebody to, you know, somebody that aligns with your own inner current? Do you need somebody that is a provider? Do you need somebody that is really, you know, good with their words and able to verbalize things? Do you need like a mental connection like that? What is it you need? Because understanding your needs, you'll be able to look out for what that is that you need there, because you're very good at tailoring to other people's needs. Now you need to tailor to your own and pull that into you, you know, so that when you step towards connections and relationships, you can go, my needs aren't being met here, but I'm meeting yours. You know, I need to say something, and if you can't meet it, that's okay. I can just open up for somebody else to come in, you know, and give that in regards to connections. Yeah. Because there's also a feeling with friendships and relationships where there's like a breakdown of a relationship or a breakdown of a friendship, and I'm internalizing it like I didn't do enough. All the while you were tailoring to that person's needs the whole time. That person never even met your needs, but then you're looking in the mirror and going, I didn't do enough. And it's like you literally tailored to all of their needs and feelings and emotions. Like, you did that. They weren't tailoring to yours at all. And sometimes that can feel, you may feel, oh, but I'm being selfish. And you may even hear that, it's, oh, you're being selfish. It's not selfish to have needs. It's not selfish to have emotions. It's not selfish to take time out for yourself. It's really not. You know, we're talking about balance here. You need to pour into yourself. Pour. And I know you're already doing it. Keep doing it. Keep going. Keep listening to your needs. Keep listening to your feelings. Hold space and allow space for them. Because I see somebody going to put a boundary in or wanting to say something, but it's like, I really want to and I know I should, but I can't. Sit with a feeling. Sit with a feeling that comes up. Don't push it down. Don't be annoyed at yourself. Self-care and self-love is, you know, what is needed here. Pile number one, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number one. How can my pile number ones heal their parental wounds? We have wake-up call, tsunami. You may have a lot of dreams of water, tsunamis, lakes, and, you know, anything to do with water or ice like that as well. And it's because it's your subconscious bringing these emotions to the surface, and showing you that there are emotions there that may be trapped or repressed, ready to come out. And you feel things beautifully. You feel things very deep when they come out. But I feel like this particular wound here, it's like, I know I need to put boundaries in because I've worked on that and I actually know my needs now, but I'm still having trouble voicing them, or I still sometimes back down or fall back, and I'm getting frustrated. But it's like, I need to feel the feeling. I need to feel the feeling of why this is happening. My inner child still hasn't let go of it. I need to feel it. I need to get it out, you know. Pile number one. Oh. Okay, I'm only going to use two more cards, so I'm not going to use them because there's a bunch of them that fell. Pile number one, please, Spirit Guides. Release. Autumnal equinox. One more card. How can my pile number ones heal these parental wounds? Mountain strength. And we have lake stillness. Look at that. And I was saying about the choppy water. You're being called to still your lake and listen to those feelings. You know, say now we're in a lake with huge currents or huge waves, and we're slap bang in the middle of that lake with all of these waves. No one's focusing on the feeling of the water. Nobody's focusing on how pretty it looks. We're focusing on survival. We're focusing on, how could we calm this lake? How could we stop the waves? How could we get to safety? How can we do that? These waves are chopping everywhere. We're not thinking about and feeling how we're feeling. You know what I mean? We don't have a moment for that. You know? We're not looking at the beauty and everything and why are we here and what would I like to do. We're just thinking of survival. How can I survive these waves? But when it all stops and we sit on that ladder, or we sit wherever it is where the water is, and it stops and the stillness is there, then we can feel, what does this feel like? What does it look like? What does it smell like? What is this? How do I like this? Do I like the water? You know, would I like to go deeper? What's going on here? Then we can really feel, but only when it's still. And you're being called to fill your surroundings and fill your environment with everything that creates peace for you, so that you give your inner self and inner child a safe space to open up, you know? And doing that, listening to your own needs. What will make me feel safe, and what will make me feel peaceful? Would it be relocating? Would it be changing my home around in this way? What can I bring into my home? What colors make me feel good? What makes me express this? How do I feel this? What people make me feel safe? Finding out where you feel safe. What colors make you feel safe? What environments make you feel safe? That is going to allow your inner child to open up that shell and go, these are my feelings. Let's release them now. It wasn't safe before. The tide was pulling, you know, everything everywhere. The waves were crashing. I shut my shell and I hid until the tide was over. When you teach your inner child that it's safe, and you allow your environment to become a reflection of that in any way that you can, even in little things, you know, especially if some of you guys are still living at home, or some of you guys are in environments that you don't feel is too safe or calm yet, just doing little things that make you feel safe, the littlest things, you know, it's then going to have your inner child open that cockle shell and go, here we go. But your inner child didn't feel safe to do that from young because the water was chopping, and all your inner child wanted to do was protect its own emotions and feelings and calm this river, and did everything that it could to calm the tide and calm it. But now you're learning that it wasn't your job to calm that. It was completely out of your control to calm that, you know? And you might it anyway. So you want to calm that ocean so that the shell can open and these feelings come out. Your inner child feels safe to show you them. And, you know, it could happen in one big tsunami. It could happen like, oh, here's all my feelings. It could also happen in little waves, you know? Because you are also being called to take it slow. Because also trauma stores in the body too. Your body needs time to catch up. So doing things that makes your physical body feel... So I just heard ashwagandha. I've never used that. Somebody recommended it to me. I actually know nothing about it. If you want to research into that and see, I can't give you too much information on it because I've never researched it. I've never taken it. I actually don't really know what it is. But I myself have been learning to lower my cortisol levels because of my hormone imbalance. And somebody told me ashwagandha, but I've honestly never tried it yet. But I just heard that. Maybe some of you guys have heard of that, and I don't, do you take it? Do you do it? I don't know what it is, but maybe look into that because that just came through for a reason. But you know, it could come in little moments when maybe repressed memories are coming up, or feelings are coming up, or frustrations are coming up, or anger is coming up, and you're being called to hold space for that, for it to come up, you know, and being like a little cockle shell at the bottom of the ocean. A little bubble is coming up. Let them come up when they need to, and allow your inner child to just take its time and feel safe. It's like, as well as, you know, when you have like a feral cat, or you taking a dog that's, you know, belonged to people before that and they may not feel safe, you know, it takes a minute for them to feel safe, and you just want to make it as comfortable as possible and calm as possible for them to come forth. And it's the same with the inner child. We want to create stillness in any way that we can, and it's something as little as, you know, breath work, is something as little as putting on the meditation music with like water. I keep hearing water trickling, so maybe water is something that soothes you. What soothes you? That's what you want to ask. What soothes me? What makes me feel safe? You know, what makes me feel calm? And doing anything you can to bring that in, you know, but not at the expense of your own emotions, where you're making everybody else, you know, making everybody else happy before yourself, because then you're just exhausted, and then you're just purging everybody else's feelings and purging everybody else's, you know, whatever. And the minute that things do settle, oh, someone needs you again, and you just never get the chance to do that. So that's where you're being called to really sit with those feelings. Why do we have strength? Why do we have strength? Then also referencing, I couldn't speak then, with this card, how much you've grown. how much you've gone through. And I always say this a lot, and I've heard people say this too, to say somebody's strong when they've had no other choice but to be strong, I don't think it's something to elevate someone with, because it's like you had no choice to have that strength. You know what I mean? You had no choice to be strong. You were going through these feelings and emotions, you kind of had to be. So I tend to not use that really as a compliment. Maybe I would have in the past. I don't think I'd use strength as a compliment anymore, because you had no choice but to get through that. And that's where I'm being told it's time now to take care of you. I'm being shown the movie, The Hunger Games, the final movie, and obviously Katniss has been through a lot. She's lost her younger sister, she's lost so many people that she cared for, and she's had to fight and not known peace. And she's taken care of everyone too, because she doesn't want, you know, people in that world to be going through what they're going through. And she could have easily sat back because she was a victor. She never would have gone through it again, but no, she didn't want that for anyone. And at the end of the movie, Effie, one of the, you know, the people that survived with her, she turns to Katniss and she says, because Katniss is going home after the war, and she says to Katniss, it's time now to take care of you. It's time now to take care of you, Katniss, she says. And she says something like, promise me you'll find it, and Katniss is like, find what? And she says, the life of a victor. And I just want to say that quote and that piece to you, because you deserve stillness, you deserve to rest now, you deserve to feel into these emotions, you deserve joy. Like, I feel emotional saying it because it's like a wave of love coming through. You deserve that, you know? You deserve peace and stillness and softness. You deserve that. And the real message here is taking care of you and finding your own inner stillness and pouring that into you. So, pile number 1, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey Pal 2, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at how you can heal parental wounds. So you guys chose the Pink Moss Agate. I'm going to start with tarot and then we're going to move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So pile number 2, please, Spirit Guides, pile number 2, tap me into the collective of my pile number 2s. How can they heal parental wounds? How can my pile number 2s heal parental wounds? When I tap into you, like, I'm being shown so much warmth. You're almost being represented to me and your energy, kind of like the sun. You could have a lot of fire placements in your chart, but I just want to say this before I get in. You are meant to be seen. You're what I like to call, when I read energy, an activator. I feel like you have a very beautiful way of being able to influence and inspire people and uplift people. Whether it's just you rubbing off on people, what you say to people, or just a healing nature that you have. There's a charisma that you have, which is very closely tied to your aura. And even when I see you guys wanting to like hide, your energy shines out, and that's in a good way. I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like I see somebody feeling at times insecure, all the while somebody's looking at you in admiration, you know? I see somebody wanting to bow their head and not be seen, and just feeling like, oh, I feel like people may project on me, or I feel like it's almost like I'm looking at a room and I'm expecting people to say bad things, but actually if I could only see people are looking up to me or thinking good things, but in my mind I'm telling myself that it's bad things. I'm telling myself that I have something to lower my head for, when in actuality you don't, and I'm being told you never did. So I think that's going to be tied into what we're healing. We're going to take a look at where that's coming from. But yeah, sorry guys, I was playing with the cards then. Do you guys sometimes get a little bit anxious and you like play with things, or like I just keep being like, I'm playing with my hair, or I'm like playing, I don't know, it's like an anticipation feeling that I'm feeling, and I'm just like wanting to play. I don't know, that's how I feel. Pile number 2. Pile number 2, please. Pile number 2. How can my pile number 2s heal their parental wounds? How can my pile number 2s heal their parental wounds? 3 of Cups. How can my pile number 2s heal their parental wounds? Let me grab your card a second. We have the 2 of Wands. Okay. Excuse me while I try and get back on my chair. I put a pillow on there, just so it's comfier. But the thing is, I have little legs, so when I try to sit back down on the pillow, it's very high up, and I'm kind of having to jump, and it's making things a bit awkward for me. Okay. Pile number 2, please, Spirit Guides. How can my pile number 2s heal? Okay, we have the 9 of Pentacles reversed. How can my pile number 2s heal their parental wounds? How can my pile number 2s heal? Okay, we have the Ace of Swords here as well. Okay. Back of the deck, we have the Knight of Swords. Okay. 3 of Cups, 2 of Wands, 9 of Coins reversed, Ace of Swords. Okay, interesting. 9 of Coins reversed. Okay, the first thing that I'm picking up for you guys is I'm being taken all the way down to, I keep being shown a tree, and I'm being taken all the way down to like the root, and then down to like the seed where it began. So I'm being taken all the way to the beginning. Okay, with the energy work I've been training in and learning, we can take on wounds even when we're in the womb. The energy and feelings that both parents were feeling at the time we were conceived, we can take that on, and that can become dominant in our energy field. Okay, and I keep being shown, like, even then through pregnancy, because it's like I'm taking on feelings, I'm taking on these feelings like I want to hide away, I'm taking on these feelings like I need to be quiet, I'm taking on these feelings like I need to, I keep being shown people trying to put me in my place, but it's not even my place. Like, there's this feeling of I should quote unquote know my place, but that isn't even my place. And this isn't even coming from you now. I'm going to a parent. I'm being shown a power dynamic where somebody feels, and this isn't you, this is something that you would have energetically taken on, and it wasn't yours. I feel like I should be quiet, or I feel like I should just focus on this. And I'm being shown somebody with a brush painting somebody, like painting a picture of somebody, tarnishing somebody with a brush, to look a specific way, even though that person isn't that. Like, I'm really strongly being shown that. It's making me think of like Encanto with like Bruno, when Bruno was just trying to help and share like psychic premonitions he was having, and they completely like shut him out, and they made the whole "We Don't Talk About Bruno" song, and they were like basically saying, oh, he told me that my fish was gonna die, he told me that I was gonna lose my hair and stuff, and they make him into this like villain, but when you meet Bruno, he's not a villain at all, and he actually has a really beautiful heart. So I'm being shown that, and somebody being tarnished with a brush, and then I'm also then being taken to you, and it's almost like I'm learning behaviors of, if I am quiet, people won't try and shut me up. If I'm not seen, no one will try and project onto me. No one will try and dim my light. If I am quiet, and I'm being shown Bruno from Encanto, when if you look in the background of that movie, Bruno's shadow, especially when we don't talk about Bruno's dancing to the song. He's like a shadow in the background and he's dancing to the song. So I'm being shown Bruno's shadow moving around, and it's almost like if I'm not seen, or if I hide away, or if I bite my tongue, that means that no one's going to project onto me and I'm safe. That's something that I'm being shown, then being learned, because I keep being shown, and I'm going to focus more so on you, but I'm being shown you guys actually being someone that people like. I see people looking up to you. I see people feeling very, it's just your natural aura. Like, I feel like you're very inspiring, and I feel like some of you guys are very creative, because I'm being shown some 5th house energy. Some of you guys are very creative, very artsy. Some of you guys may be very, you know, into like the arts and like drama and stuff like that. There's some Leo energy coming through here, but I am going to say Aries and Sag as well. I just feel like I see people naturally feeling warm to you and naturally feeling drawn to you. But like I always say about the sun, it casts a light on people's shade, and then I see people popping out from the shade and kind of like trying to like dim the light down. And I see you witnessing a parent going through that. So then it's almost like, well, I need to do the same thing now. I need to be quiet, or I need to act this way to please people, or I need to quote unquote know my place, even though the place I'm being placed in isn't my place. I hope that makes sense. Like, there's a strong vibe there, and then I'm almost being shown an attack on the solar plexus. It's almost like this person's been tarnished with a brush, so then I'm just going to tarnish myself with this brush too, or I'm going to take on the energy of this person onto myself. So say now you have a parent, let's just say this particular parent may have had substance abuse issues, or this parent may have been struggling for some time in some area. I see whatever projections are placed on said parent, I see you then taking it on. So it's like, oh, well, I'm this too, or I'm that too. And I see then you going into life, into the world, and I see it starting very small, but it's like a snowball effect. So I see you maybe going into like school, like at a young age, or like a play school or something like that. And I don't know if you all call it play school. I know some of you call it kindergarten. I don't know. We call it play school. Yeah, I don't know what it's called everywhere else. But I'm being shown it's starting lightly. Like, let's just say a young kid's like, oh, you're mean. And then it's like, oh, well, I'm going to take this on as I mean. And then somebody else says this, so then I'm going to take it on as this. This person says I'm bossy. Oh, I'm going to take this on. And every time I'm trying to assert myself in any way, is people are projecting, which people do. Anytime that we shine out or say something, somebody's going to project, because somebody's going to have an opinion. But then it's, instead of just letting it go over my head or being like, well, I know myself, because I feel like I've watched somebody take on the opinions of others, or I've watched people project onto others, I'm taking this on as like, this is my truth now. So it starts off small, oh, I'm bossy, oh, I'm mean because this kid said this to me, and then it starts to snowball, and it gets heavier and heavier, and then it's almost like I need to hide away so people can't say this and that about me. And then I'm being shown this massive snowball with loads of different words spiraling that just aren't true, you know? This person's this way, this person's that way. I tend to find sometimes when people are a little bit more observant and less talkative, sometimes people will say they're shy, or they're ignorant, or they're arrogant. Like, I've seen people say that. Or, you know, maybe you did put your opinions out there and try and be, you know, I keep being shown somebody being loud, or trying to be loud, or trying to be fun, and then I see like an attack there then from the shadows. It's almost like, oh, you're being too much, you're being too this, you're being too that. And then I see somebody like, there's a lot, I keep hearing rumors, so then there could have been a rumor, but it's like, I know that rumor isn't true, but I'm taking it on as my own. And it's like, there's lots of chatter and noise. Like, I can just keep being shown voices, like mouths moving around me, and there's all this chatter and all this noise, and it's not true. It's like, if you've ever watched The Labyrinth, Sarah falls down this tunnel, and there's like these talking hands, and they're all chattering and saying things to her, and they're just chattering, and she gets kind of scared. There's like a vibe of that, like words and words and words, and half the people that are saying them, they know that they're not true, but it's almost like I'm trying to chuck and see what sticks, but it's almost like I'm taking this all on as my own. I'm building this up as who I am, and it's not actually who I am. And then it's causing me to not feel confident in going after certain maybe jobs, taking risks, shining my light out, wearing this, dressing like this, wearing my hair like this, maybe wearing makeup like this, acting this way, acting that way. All these beautiful bright aspects of my personality, I don't want to showcase them because I've been told they're bad, or I just don't want to be seen. So I'm going to kind of hide them away. And I just see you guys walking around like at times feeling insecure, and in your brain thinking everyone's going to be thinking this of me, when in actuality there's a lot of people actually feeling very inspired by you. There's a lot of people actually looking up to you. There's a lot of people that are actually very drawn to you, and I see that. But then I see you guys almost like shield over your head, like they're going to be saying this, they're going to be saying that. And it's reminding me of the Harry Potter scene when Luna says to Harry that she believes him, that Voldemort, the evil guy, is back. And Harry's like, it seems like you're the only person that does. And she says, that's not true, but if I was him, I'd want you to think that, because if you were on your own, you wouldn't be much of a threat. So that's where I see you guys then. I see you guys walking through town or walking through wherever where it's busy, and then thinking that everyone may be against you, or everyone may be painting this brush of you, or everyone may be seeing you in one way, when in actuality that's not true. There's a lot of people feeling inspired by you, a lot of people, you know, wanting to hear what you have to say, or see what you're wearing, or want to be friends with you, or just drawn to your light. And it's like you're not seeing it. Like I'm seeing somebody bowing their head and people watching them walk past, and it's like you're not seeing your light. You're not seeing that. Because you're thinking that everybody else is just maybe projecting onto you because of maybe childhood. And maybe in childhood you did have people project things onto you because of like what may have gone on with certain parents, or what may have gone on in the family. I don't know everyone's situation, but there could have been issues or situations in, you know, your family setting, and they were nothing, absolutely nothing to do with you. They weren't your fault, but it's almost like I've taken on this. And this came up in my reading before last week when I was talking about my own experience. Like we take on that guilt, or we take on that frustration, or we take on these insecurities, or we take on the shame, and we take on all of these feelings that aren't ours, because it's like we think we're meant to take it on. What we think we're meant to, we think that that was our fault, especially from young. So then it stays there, and then we go into life, and it's like we let these shadow energies, these projections be placed on us, and we believe them to be true, and they're not, you know. And but I keep being shown like a specific parent that also would have taken on like that, those feelings. I see like a specific parent that would have taken on like somebody's painting the parent with a brush and they're taking it on. So then you're then painting yourself with that brush, or bits of paint are going on you, and it's like, oh, I must be the same. Let me paint myself in the same thing, and nobody's meant to be painted like this. But I see it being taken on, and it's like how you heal from this is you step into your power, and you stand in your truth, and you pour into yourself in that way. You pour into your worth. I'm going to pull some more cards now, but that's where this wound is coming from. Pile number 2. How can my pile number 2s heal from this? Because all through life, people are going to project. And especially if we're meant to be seen, or we're meant to be on like a specific platform, or we're meant to put books out and art out, there are going to be people that just don't like it. There are going to be people that just don't resonate it. You are going to be activating parts of yourself that they haven't activated, and they're going to project onto you. They could have been taught to hide away that aspect of themselves, so now they're projecting onto you that you should. We're not meant to take those opinions and those projections on. When you have a strong core, I didn't know what I was saying there, my words went, a strong core sense of self-worthiness, and you know who you are, no one can tell you about you. And I want to say, because I keep being shown a piece of paper with lines, writing down everything that you know you are, the type of person that you know you are, not thinking of anybody else's opinions, who you know you are, things that you've done that you're proud of. Write down as well, or type down, I wanted to say type then, write down or type down your weaknesses too, and the weaknesses that you know about, so no one can spin and twist that and use it against you. Because we all have weaknesses, and we all have shadow traits. But when we know them, no one can use that against us. So you're being called to write these down and look at them. So it's like, I know who I am. You can't tell me about me. And that'll make it a lot easier when people do try to project onto you or do try and throw things at you, to be like, well, that's not me. I don't know who you're talking about, but it's definitely not me. You know, I am going to get deeper into how you can heal this wound though. Pile number 2. How can my pile number 2s heal this wound? The Sun. I'm going to cover this up though. As you all know, YouTube's a bit strict at the moment. Okay. We have the Sun. Pile number 2. How can my pile number 2s heal this? Knave of Swords. 4 of Cups. How can my pile number 2s... I'm hearing Chipmunk, the rapper, and he says, opinions ain't facts. Take them in and let them go. That's what I'm hearing Chipmunk say, that song. Opinions ain't facts. Take them in and let them go. Yeah, I almost feel like I'm taking on, even when I know it's not true, it's like I'm taking on anything that people are saying about me as true, because I've learned to do that. It's almost like I've been taught that my power doesn't lie with me. I see you witnessing something and learning that. 10 of Swords at the back of the deck. Okay, the Sun, Knave of Swords, the 4 of Cups, Justice. Okay. I'm gonna, first off, I want to give you guys an exercise just to see if this works for you, because it's worked for me before. And even if it just gets you kick-started on this, it's just something that I want to talk about. When you go into meditation, imagine yourself in scenarios where people projected onto you, or people made you feel small, or just allow any memory to show up by just listening in and ask yourself, show me where I was made to feel small. Show me where I was made to dim my light. Show me where people projected onto me. And just allow whatever comes through to come through, certain scenarios and certain memories, because things will probably come up. And say now you get taken to a time period where you were like 8 and you were in a classroom and somebody said this to you. What I want you to do then is step in to that memory as if you're stepping in through time. And everything that you want to say to said person, say it. Or anything that you want to say to your younger self, say it. Because in doing that, you're empowering yourself, you know? That's not true. You're projecting onto me. I don't take that as my reality. You don't know me. That's not my truth. This is my truth. You have no power over me, you know? And then allowing yourself to go wherever you need to really empower yourself that way. I would also say affirmations for you would be really good. I know my truth. I know my worth. No one can take that from me. I keep being shown you saying to people, you have no power over me. You don't have any power over me. Knave of Swords, 4 of Cups, Justice. Yeah, and I keep being shown, because with the 4 of Cups, it's like, that's your truth, that's not mine. That's your truth, that's not mine. I don't know what you're projecting onto me, but that's not mine. That's not what I said. Or I said what I said, you know? I would definitely get you guys like a list of your traits that you're proud of and things that you know that may be shadow traits or weaknesses that you're working on. And write them down. So when you hear hearsay, or you hear somebody say this, that, and that, or these thoughts come up in your brain where it's like, oh, this person said this about me back then, this person said this about me, you can go, well, that's not even true. And when you find yourself feeling these things, think about it. Was that true? When that person said X, Y, and Z to you, was that true when that person projected it onto you? Was that true when that person was trying to paint you with a brush? It wasn't true. You don't have to take it on. So you can acknowledge when it comes up, because I see something keeping coming up in my face. It's almost like goading me, and I'm looking it in the eye and I'm going, you have no power over me. That wasn't even true. And it goes away, because it's like, you don't have power over me. I would also say to anything connected to the solar plexus, like anything that you know makes you feel good and makes you feel $1 million, anything that you know inspires you, anything that you know makes you feel empowered, whether it's listening to music that's empowering, whether it's you know, going to the gym and working out, whether it's just working on yourself and doing anything that can make you feel good about yourself and standing in that and doing it for you. I would also call you guys as well, when these feelings come up or these words come up, or you think back to memories where people projected this onto you or people projected that onto you, listen to the feelings that come up too, because there may be trappings in which you need to release and purge. They may be feelings of feeling not good enough, there may be feelings of insecurity, there may be feelings of shame, there may be feelings of sadness, there may be feelings of abandonment as well, or feeling unloved. They also may all then be attached, because it's I keep being shown lots of scenarios where I don't feel good enough for this person, or I don't feel good enough. It's almost like people are, I keep looking at everything as it's too good for me. I can't get that job. It's too good for me. I can't say that. Who am I to be saying that? And I keep being shown you guys connecting to that part of you that felt the need to be back down, and feeling into the feelings of grief, of rejection, of, you know, discomfort as well is another word, and allowing these feelings to be felt, allowing yourself to sit in these feelings and purge them out. Don't hold on to them. They're not yours to hold on to. But feel into them, acknowledge them. That way they'll release, and that way you empower yourself then by saying, that's not my truth anymore. That's not my truth. And that was never my truth. Because I keep being shown trappings of feelings of discomfort and sadness and all of that. I keep being shown that. And then over that then is like, I don't want to be seen. This is obviously true. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be heard. I just want to keep out the way. Like, I don't feel good enough for this. I don't feel good enough for that. I'm not good enough for this. I'm not good enough for that. And it's like this shield comes over me. And it's almost like I'm expecting people to say things about me. I'm expecting this and I'm expecting that. So what we want to do is get to the core of it, feel into these feelings of shame, guilt, any memories that come up with it, sit in them, feel them, purge them, release them, and just observe them. Observe how they're making you feel. Look them in the eye. Because when we observe these feelings and we observe these memories coming up, we can really see the truth of them. So we're observing it, we're feeling it, we're allowing it to pass through. Once we've done that and that energy's cleared, we now have a hole in which we need to fill. And now we're going to fill it with something different, because this isn't our story anymore. So now we're going to fill it with self-confidence. Now we're going to fill it with empowerment. I feel like you guys would also really benefit from watching like motivational speeches. You can watch a lot of them on YouTube. Just type in motivational speeches on YouTube and whatever area you want to, about self-confidence, career, things like that. I feel like that would really help you guys, just so it's like your inner narrative is hearing something different. You know, when you're waking up in the morning, you're doing your skincare routine, or you're brushing your teeth, or you're in the shower, or, you know, you're doing whatever, or you're in the gym, putting on these motivational speeches. I feel like they're really going to help you. I also feel like music that empowers you as well, maybe making a playlist, which is like a self-worth playlist, and pouring back into you, because it's like we're feeding a new narrative to the subconscious, but we can only do that once the old narrative is passed. So we need to purge and feel into these feelings to release them, sit with them and acknowledge them, and then we need to give ourselves that new narrative. And in doing that, we're also going to be creating a list where we're like, this is who I am, this is me, I'm here on the greatest show of mine, this is me, these are my weaknesses, these are my strengths, no one can use this against me. Going over them and understanding, this is me, this is my story, this is my truth. And again, pouring into self, doing things that make me feel good, doing things that make me feel confident. So anytime then somebody does try and jump out of the shadows and pop at me, it's like, sorry, that isn't true. I know myself, and that's not true. It's not, you know? Because I do feel like you have people that try and target your self-confidence there, because it's like you're shining a light then on their shade. The right people are going to recognize you and be inspired by you, you know? It's like with anything. It's like with the work that I do here on YouTube. Like, there's going to be people that don't agree with my work and don't like the way I read and don't like the way I channel. And that's going to happen because energetically there's going to be a difference. So some people are just not going to like me. And that's maybe because there's other readers and other people that are able to connect with their energy better and bring those messages through, whereas I might not be able to. But just because I'm not able to for those, and you know, some people might comment and be like, oh, you're this, you're that, there are other people that love my readings and resonate with my readings and align with my readings, you know, and those are the people that I'm meant to be here for, you know. But if I let the comments of people that aren't meant to be here, I may have triggered or whatever, if I let those comments telling me that I'm this and I'm that affect me, I'm not going to be able to show up for the people that I am showing up for, you know. So, and that happens with music, that happens with art, that happens with everything. You see some artists and they're loved by a lot of people, but then a lot of people might not like them, and it's just because their music isn't for those types of people, you know. It doesn't necessarily mean we have all these like good and bad. It doesn't necessarily mean that, you know. And it's the same with art and poetry and books and all of that. When we're here to inspire and we're here to shine and we're here to shine our light, we're going to have people that recognize us because they like us on the inside, and they're going to be drawn to us, and they're going to be inspired by us, and they're going to be activated by us in turn. And though that's our energy, you know, that's our part of souls. Because I feel like you're here, there's something maybe you're meant to put out, there's something you're meant to be seen for, recognized for. It could just be you're just meant to be a lighthouse, you're meant to be a light for people and activate people in that way, in any way, you know, and inspire people. But there's this feeling of like, oh, who would want that, when I did this, this person said this. Honestly, for how many people will try and project onto you from these shadows, there's going to be like 10 other people that are going to support and love you, you know. And it always is the case. Pile number 2. How can my pile number 2s heal these parental wounds? How can my pile number 2s heal okay, we have solitude. Sorry guys, I've made a mess. I've made a mess. Okay, it's a bit of a mess, but we've got solitude here. Pile number 2. How can my pile number 2s heal we have new beginnings? How can my pile number 2s heal these wounds? We have veiled fog. Look at that. Veiled. And one more card, please. Oh, brilliant. Promise. New moon. Okay. And the back of the deck, you have fire, passion. Yeah, like I was saying, you guys are like the sun. I feel like you're here to activate people. Yeah. Okay. Fire and passion. Island, solitude. New beginnings, veiled, and promise. I don't know if some of you guys have already been in solitude, because I'm being shown a part of your life where then you're called to maybe be on your own for a little bit. And when you're on your own for a little bit, you're dismantling. So I don't know if you've been in solitude for some time, or you've been feeling the urge recently, because I almost feel like I've been triggered and I've taken on too much. And I know, like, I've taken on a lot of projections and opinions, and this just isn't me. And it's almost like I have a yearning for like my own truth. So I see somebody going into an egg, going into a shadow period. Some of you guys could have gone through an ego death, or just done a lot of shadow work, or you may be being called into isolation, because I see there would be a period of time where you may not have too many people around you, and it's because you're getting in touch with yourself. It's like you're hatching, and it's like an egg hatching in that shell that's been coloured and painted. It's like people like writing on the egg like words that just aren't true, but it's almost like I'm taking it on inside of this egg. It's like, you are a fish, you are a like random like animal names that like aren't true, like you are a horse, but like you're actually like this like spring chicken like popping out. It's like, what do you want about? Why did they write that on the egg? Like, that wasn't true. But because you've been in isolation and you've been waiting to hatch, that egg's then cracked then. So it's like, these words aren't true. I wasn't this, or I wasn't that. Like, this is what I actually am. So I see like a phase where you're going into kind of like a void state, where I see you guys clearing out a lot of projections or clearing out a lot of opinions. Like I see you guys being in a bit of a hermit mode, and really getting to know yourself in that way. And I see some of you guys being like, well, why am I not in a relationship, or why do I not have this many friends, or why don't I not have X, Y, and Z? Anytime we are, our higher self kind of leads us into a level of isolation, or leads us to kind of be on a bit of a lonesome journey, it's actually an initiation. Everyone takes it as a punishment. It's not a punishment, it's an initiation. It's an initiation to grow. It's an initiation to get to know yourself on a deeper level. And it's an initiation to hatch and clear and take off the cloak of everything that may be chucked on you, all the projections that may be chucked onto you, all the perceptions that you've taken on as your own. It's a chance to, in isolation, without everybody's words saying X, Y, and Z, take that off and really grow from that and evolve from that, and really get to know yourself. Because I keep being shown it in this phase, like solitude, new beginning, so then I'm hatching out, and then we have fog veiled, like the veil is kind of thinning, like it's being taken off us. You see the sun peering through, it's like clarity, I'm gaining clarity. And then we have new moon promise here as well, so it's like a new start, a fresh start. This is actually me. I keep hearing the Greatest Showman song, this is me. So really getting to know yourself at your core and spending time with yourself, what you like, what you don't like, without everybody's noise. Like I want to just drown out the noise, turn the noise off, and really get to know myself. What do I like? What don't I like? What makes me laugh? What makes me sad? What makes me this? It's getting to know yourself, almost like dating yourself, falling in love with yourself, pouring into yourself, and being your cheerleader, you know, and doing anything that you can to empower yourself. And when there are moments of grief, or there are moments of feeling insecure, feel the feeling, observe the feeling, you know, because it's going to come up. It could even be coming up in this reading. Feel into it and observe it. Sit with it in silence and just observe the feeling, you know, feel into it and then allow it to pass through. And like I said, when you do that, you want to pour into yourself then, because something then is going to be activated. When we pull up the weed, we then plant a new seed, and then we have to nurture that seed before it grows, you know? And that's what you're being called to do right now. Really sit in solitude and feel into these uncomfortable feelings, because it's discomfort I'm feeling. It's an uncomfortable feeling here, but it's stopping you from wanting to be seen, and shining out beautiful aspects of your personality, because it's like there's a lot of fog there. It's almost like I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm hearing other people's opinions. Yeah. So pile number 2, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoy this reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at how you can heal parental wounds. So you guys chose the clear quartz heart. I'm going to start with tarot, and then we're going to move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3, tap me in to the collective of my pile number 3s. Tap me into the collective of my pile number 3s, please. Tap me into the collective of my pile number 3s. How can my pile number 3s heal their parental wounds? Show me pile number 3s parental wounds. 2 of Cups. Pile number 3s. I keep being shown Avatar, the scene from Avatar. It's actually a deleted scene. And Jake and the lady, I can't remember her name now, the human beings anyway, they're talking about Naturi, who is part of the Na'vi. She's one of the Avatar people, right? She's part of the Na'vi. And Jake is upset because obviously he's had to kind of lie to the Na'vi and say that he's been sent there to be one of them, but that's not actually the truth. The truth is he was being sent there to get them to move where they were living because the human beings wanted to destroy their home, right? And when he's talking about it, he says, I couldn't explain it to Naturi, part of the Na'vi, because they're so like trustworthy and so loving. They don't even have a word for lie. So she couldn't get her brain around the fact that I was lying. They don't have a word for it. They don't do that in their world. They don't lie. You know, they're upfront, they're honest, they're just as they are. And that's what hurt him more, is the fact that she was so pure. She didn't even know what a lie was when he had to explain what he had done. And that really broke him. And then I'm being taken to the Two of Cups here. And I see you guys with that same kind of innocence of like, I don't get why you'd move that way. I don't understand why you'd move that way. And I see you guys being very soft, but soft isn't weakness. Soft is powerful. And I see you guys with very big, beautiful hearts. And I see you guys, it's almost like, but why? But what? I don't understand. I don't, out of all the ways you could move, why did you move that way? Why did you choose to move like that? Why did you choose to do that? I can't comprehend that. It doesn't make sense to me. I wouldn't do that. I see a lot of that. And I see grief. And it's almost like something's breaking my heart in a way. Like I'm grieving because I just don't. In my world, in the way that I move, I would never do it. So I'm just confused. And it's creating this grief within me. Yeah, it's creating this grief within me because you're very pure souls. And I feel like even when we look at people's inner child and we look at people in childhood, you know, children are pure, you know, children are pure. They just show up as themselves. They don't have a lot of concepts for all of these things that human beings end up doing. They don't have that. But I feel like for you guys specifically, even now, and even as you've got older, you've stayed very pure. But then when people have moved in certain ways, it's almost like it's hurting me because why would you choose to do that? You may as well have a very strong love for animals, and maybe very, very drawn to animals. Because with animals, they just come as they are. They don't, you know, lie and manipulate and do things. They just come as they are. So there's almost this connection then with animals, because it's a lot of Avatar references, because I want to say I see you. Like I'm seeing you. You know, with animals, it's like I can see you sort of thing. Pile number 3. Cards just dropped. Pile number 3. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3. Oh God. Pile number 3. Pile number 3. Pile number 3 is parental wounds. We have death. I need to cover this one up though, because this card is a bit graphic. So we have death. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3. Pile number 3. I feel like you work through your heart, you move through your heart. You love very deeply. You have a very beautiful concept of love is what I'm being shown. You feel very connected to source. You feel very connected to like the angelic realms, like very connected to source. There's a lot of love. The higher up we go, you know, love is a frequency, and it's like the higher up we go through the dimensions, it's love. You know, the universe is love, God is love, you know, whatever you believe in, it's love. And you hear that through all different religions and practices. It's love that is there eternally, and that's what I'm being shown when I'm being taken to your soul. It's love. We have the Fool reversed. Pile number 3. I see somebody watching. Okay, I see somebody as well in regards to like looking at like relationship advice. I see it like a reel or a TikTok. So some of you guys may be on TikTok a lot, or on like reels and stuff, but I see somebody giving like relationship advice, and it's kind of like, to keep someone you have to move like this and you have to move like that. And I see somebody going, that I don't want to go outside of myself to keep somebody around. If they don't want to stay around, they can just go. Like, I don't want to play games. You know, people say you need to play hard to get, and you need to do X, and you need to do Y, and you need to do Z. I see somebody being like, it's almost like outside of me. It's like, why would I play all these games? Why wouldn't I just show up? Why do I have to shield myself all the time? Why are people moving like this all the time? Why, you know, why do I have to move that way? Why do I have to play tricks and all of these things? Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to, you know? And I'm getting frustrated because it's like, because I see somebody, but it's like there's somebody I'm in a connection with, and it could be mirroring something from childhood. And this person, it's almost like there's a lot of wounds within them too, and the only time they're interested in me is when I'm not giving them attention. So when I play the more emotionally unavailable game, then they're wanting to chase me. But it's like, I don't understand that. I want to love to a full capacity, but to keep this person, I have to make myself small and dim all of this love that I want to give, and that doesn't make me happy. So I don't think I want this. And then there's a confusion of like, why do I have to play these games? Like, why? I don't want to do this. I don't understand this. There's a lot of that, and I almost feel like ashamed of my own softness, or ashamed of my own innocence in a way. Like, I feel like I'm out of my depths, or I need to put on a mask to be like X, Y, and Z. That's how I feel. I want to get to the root of where this is coming from though, because I feel like it's what's affected relationships for you. Pile number 3. The Devil. Interesting. I'm gonna have to cover this one up as well. Let me use the shelby here. I'm gonna have to use something bigger than that. Hang on, let me just get something bigger so I can cover it up fully. I'll use a rose quartz because I'm picking up a lot of rose quartz energy for you guys, but we do have the Devil here as well. You're a very kind person. You've been really kind to people. You've been really kind to people. And I'm not saying nice, I'm saying kind. You know, there's a difference between nice and kind, and you're actually kind. We can be nice, but we can be nice and present as nice, but we might not be doing that out of the goodness of our heart. Sometimes we can be nice, but it's to get something maybe in return. But when we're kind, we're doing it for the goodness of our heart. We're being kind, you know? And that's what I want to say about you guys. You're kind. You know? The Ace of Swords at the back of the deck. Okay, Two of Cups, Death. The Fool reversed. And the Devil. Okay, let's go to the childhood first. Go to where this wound began, please. I need to see it from its root. I need to see the parental wound here from its root. Like, I keep hearing, I want to help. I want to share. I want to love. I want to love people around me. I want to make people feel good. I want that. But that's where I start to see some of you guys maybe not receiving it back, even in childhood. Like, there's a lot of forgiveness being shown in childhood, which is just your childhood self. It's like, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay. Like, I can work through this. I can heal this. And I see you not necessarily thinking, oh, it's okay, I'm going to heal this. I'll work through this. It's fine. As a young child, but I just see you being like, oh, it's okay, I can get over it. It's fine. It's like, I want peace for everyone. I want everyone to feel loved. I feel like you may have seen a parent not receive love. So you could have had a parent, you know, both of your parents were in a relationship and maybe one parent didn't pour love into the other parent, or there was one parent that was maybe deprived of love, or you saw somebody be breadcrumbed, or somebody going back and forth, or maybe you saw a parent with a lot of wounds, because it's almost like, I want to heal, I want to fix this, I want to pour love, I want to put love where I can see love. And then it's almost like, because it's like, I'm not receiving what I should be receiving here. I'm not receiving the care that I should be receiving. People aren't being as responsible as they should be with what it is that I need and what I deserve. I'm in tune with what it is that I need and deserve, but it's like, no one's really given that to me. But then there's this like, I'll give it to myself. So then it's almost like, I'm seeing two parents in front of me and they're not able to show up for me the way I need them to. Somebody's going through something, somebody's got their own wounds, somebody's just emotionally emotionally unavailable. There's a parent here that's emotionally unavailable and is not able to give the care and love that I'm supposed to be having. So instead, I'll just create it myself. And this is what children do, you know, if they're not given what they might need in childhood, they'll project onto that parent that they did have that, whether it's through daydreaming, you know, like projecting that, you know, you may have dreamed a lot, oh, I have a father like this, or I have a mother like this, or I have a home like this. Think back to daydreams you had when you were young. This is the key. Think back to daydreams you had when you were young. What was going on in those daydreams that you would think about? Did you have a really big house? Did you have a mother that was nurturing you? Did you have a father that was nurturing you? Did you have a big family with lots of siblings? Were those dreams? Did you have friends that were listening to you? And what were the people in these? Because there's daydreams coming through here. Some of you guys may have, and this happens for a lot of people that have gone through trauma in childhood. I myself have been through this maladaptive daydreaming, you know, where we start to create an internal world to fill voids in our earlier life because it's safer there, you know. And what are we getting? And this is the key, to look at what we were daydreaming about and look at what it is that we were wanting. What were the people in those daydreams doing, you know? In real life, my father may not be showing me X, Y, and Z, but when I'm maladaptive daydreaming, I'm getting X, Y, and Z. I'm pouring it into me through this daydream. So I'm getting this, I'm getting that. So I'm being shielded from the feeling of rejection and the feeling of abandonment, or the feeling of X, Y, and Z, and it's being poured into me in this way. And it could have even led then into relationships where you may have daydreamed about a specific someone coming in, or a relationship coming in, giving you X, Y, and Z, because those were your needs that you felt that weren't fulfilled, you know? Or you may have had people not treat you the best, specifically in relationships, because I'm being shown a specific relationship with someone that's emotionally unavailable. But I'm projecting all the ways that they're showing up to keep me safe in this kind of connection. And it's almost like I'm projecting a potential, so that, and I hope this person can like match up to it, the same way as like I'm projecting a potential onto a parent so that they can live up to it. And what it does then is, when people are showing their true nature, I can't fathom that. I wouldn't move like that. I wouldn't treat people like that. I don't understand it. So it's almost like through my own eyes and through my heart space, I'm going to create a, you didn't mean it, you meant this. You didn't mean it, you were going through this. That's okay. I keep hearing that's okay. Like a lot of forgiveness. And forgiveness is okay. But there's then the lack of... like, how do I explain it? I'm being pulled back to childhood again. I'm being shown a parent doing something wrong, like a parent saying something they shouldn't to you, or doing something they shouldn't, or acting a way that they shouldn't. And it's almost like inside I'm hurt, I feel abandoned, I feel rejected, but I'm going to soothe it over. So the shadow's coming in and we're soothing that feeling over. We don't want to feel it. The shadow self is protecting us. We don't want to feel it. And instead, I'm going to forgive you because it wasn't your fault, because you were going through X, Y, and Z. And even though it's beautiful, we're seeing things from a higher perspective, and we know, yes, they could be going through X, Y, and Z. But that's fine. You've got the left bit right. But the right bit is, you are also a beautiful human being who deserves respect, who deserves love, who deserves to be treated fairly and right. You also deserve to have, you know, your needs met, and you deserve the right to feel angry, frustrated when these needs aren't being met. You deserve the right to respect, and you're allowed to walk away and step away from someone if they're not treating you with respect, and if they keep going round and hurting you and going round in circles, is what I want to say here. Because I'm seeing it in childhood. It's almost, and it's not, when I say making excuses, this isn't your fault. So I want to say that before I get into this. This isn't your fault. This was you as a child, knowing that you should have been treated differently, but because you're a child, there's nothing you can do in that instance. So it's almost like I'm burying it. Similar to pal 1, but you guys are different to pal number 1. You guys are different. Similar though, it's like I'm burying it, because if I really feel into this, I'm going to feel rejected, or I'm going to feel hurt. And if I have these angry feelings or sad feelings, and that means that I'm not, you know, acting the way that I should be. So I'm going to pour all of these feelings down, like push all of them down. And now I'm going to look at it from the light perspective. And it's okay if you can't meet X, Y, and Z needs, because I'll just give them to myself, or I'll go into my dream world and I'll get them. I'll go into my dream world and I'll get them. It's fine. But you deserve to have those needs met, and you deserve to have people show up for you, and you deserve to be loved in the capacity that you can love. You deserve that. And then there's this kind of feeling of like, I'm then looking for people that I can love. I'm looking at people that I can extend grace to. I'm looking for people that I can pour into, so I can give that. It's like I'm looking for voids where I can fill them with love. Emotionally unavailable people, fill them with love. So it's like I'm loving everyone around me, and I'm seeing everybody from the higher perspective. But then what that does is it can blind us from seeing people's motives, people's tactics, and people moving in a way of, I want this and I want that, and I don't care who I hurt to get X, Y, and Z. And we'll then make the excuse, getting older, because we don't know any better. It's like we want to see the good in people. We want to see the light in people. Your internal world, you're seeing the good, you see the beauty, you see the love, and you have so much love to give. But then it's almost like we're painting somebody a different color than what they are, because it's like we're not accepting what they really are or what they were really doing. We're not accepting that then. And then that can become, you know, dangerous and get us caught in a cycle where somebody keeps letting us down and we keep hitting them with it. I'm hearing that song in my head by Ariana Grande. It's like she sings, I'm painting a picture, I thought I drew you well. I've got a habit of seeing what isn't there. So it's almost like because of the way I look at the world, I'm almost projecting that onto you. Or what I know that I truly want, it's almost like I'm projecting that onto you, but you're not meeting my needs. And that's where we really want to look and see that person for what they are. It doesn't mean that we're looking at them in the wrong way, because that's how you're looking at life. It's very beautiful. I see you seeing things from a very beautiful perspective, but we also want to have one foot in the shadow, one foot in the light, one foot in the dark, one foot in the light, so that we can really see something truthfully and truly, because both can be right, you know. And the thing about that is your shadow self is protecting you from feeling the feelings of hurt, abandonment, anger, frustration when that person can't show up in the way that you want them to, or that parent can't show up in the way that you want them to, or that parent still can't love in the way that you'd want them to, or pull back, or be as emotionally available as you'd want them to. That shadow part of you is protecting you from the feeling that comes with that. Because like I said this with pile number 1, when our inner child feels these feelings of abandonment, I'm not getting this, I'm not getting that, I'm not getting this, what happens is, as a child, we're not meant to take on those emotions that strong. We're not developed enough for us to feel into those feelings. So our brain and our shadow self, it wants to protect us. Our psyche wants to protect us. So it's like, well, this is too heavy. Let's bury this down. and we'll create this world, you know, in which we can, you know, step into, or we can give that to ourselves, or we'll project onto this parent, that parent, whoever we meet, that they're meeting X, Y, and Z needs, just so that we don't have to feel the disappointment, the anger, the frustration. And then as we go through life, that part of us, it's kind of hidden, so we'll kind of paint somebody in a different picture than what they are, and we only see the best in them. But only seeing the best, it stops us from seeing those motives that they may have, you know. So what we want to do is we want to feel into those feelings of abandonment, rejection, hurt. We want to get to the core of them, because once we've felt them, we allow our inner child to feel them, and our inner child will go, oh, it's okay to feel these. We can feel these. It's uncomfortable, but I'm going to feel them. And then once we feel them and we sit in them and we're aware that these feelings exist, we're then going to be able to see the full rounded perspective of yin, yang, black, white, good, bad, all of that. Because in this world, in this third dimensional experience, there's a polarity to everything. But if we're only seeing it from one perspective, we're not seeing the whole truth. So let's pull some cards on how you can heal this here. Pile number... strong boundaries for a start. I feel like you're definitely in touch with your needs, because I feel like even from young, these daydreams or these thoughts that you may have in your head of what you would like, they've always been there. So you've always known your needs. They're kind of hidden in plain sight, I'm being told. So what I want you to do is, when you're thinking specifically of like relationships, or you're thinking back to friendships and daydreams that you've had in regards to friendships, or daydreams from when you were young and what you wanted from your parents, or what you were getting in these daydreams, if you sit with them and you feel, write these things down of what they were making you feel, because they're keys to your needs. Was this person emotionally validating you? Was this person physically showing you love? Was this person, you know, showing up for you when you needed them? Was this person being loyal to you? What were these things? Write them down, because they're going to be keywords. These are your needs. And you want to physically see them being given back to you before you step towards connections. Otherwise, it's going to be you pouring in. People may say a whole lot. You know, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. But people can say things and not necessarily deliver. And I had to learn that myself. I used to get swayed a lot by what people would say to me, because when I speak, I'll speak the truth. So I thought everybody else did. And I had to learn the hard way. People don't. People sometimes just say things. And even if they want it to be true, they might not have the courage to follow through with it. And sometimes it's not even that they're a bad person. It's just that they like the idea of it and they'd say it. But they're not going to follow through with it. Whereas I would take everything at face value and go, oh, you said this. Well, it must be true. And I don't end up getting hurt that way. And I'd fall for words rather than actions. And I feel like that may have happened sometimes. And that wasn't your fault. Because this is coming through from your childhood. This is a shadow aspect. This is a wound from childhood that we're now going to look at how we can work and heal through that. I also want to say as well, and this has helped me a lot. I see a lot of myself in this pile. This really helped me, because I had a father that was absent and a mother that had a lot going on and wasn't able to be what I needed her to be. And what I did one day was I wrote the word mother on a piece of paper. I wrote father on a piece of paper, and I felt into like a mother figure here, because I hadn't really experienced a proper one. And I was going, what would I have loved my mother to have given me? What would a mother that would be like the best mother in my eyes, what would they give me? What would they pour into me? What would I like from that mother? And I would write it down, and then I would do the same with a father. If my father was present, and if my father was here, what would he do for me? How would he help me? How would that make, you know, how would he make my life better? How would he make me feel loved? How would he make me feel seen? And I wrote it all down. So I had this list of words, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do all of this for myself. So I start with the mother energy, and it's like, okay, I want to be nurtured. Well, I'm going to nurture myself. I'm going to nurture myself. And if, you know, when I found myself then, when I'd be pushing myself to work, I was almost mothering myself and going, no, you need to rest. you need to nurture, and I was giving it to myself. And sometimes it can be triggering, especially when you write down the words of what you wished you had and you know you didn't get it. But that's where there's a rupture of feelings where you can grieve, because you'll grieve, and you can feel that sadness because it's your inner child allowing these feelings to come out and go, I didn't get this, I didn't get that, I wish I had this made me feel rejected, and it's coming out. Allow your inner child to express these feelings, because these are feelings that your inner child pushed down, you know. And anytime they were triggered by partners or friends moving forward, they would have been probably triggered and then pushed down again, you know. So we want to allow these feelings to come up. And I think that would be a good exercise for you guys as well, to allow your inner child to feel those feelings, you know, because no parent is perfect. We're all going to have a level of this where we didn't feel we got this and we didn't feel that we got that. But when we've really experienced in childhood, you know, a lot, and we really didn't have people show up for ourselves, it's really crucial that we are aware of what it is that we didn't receive and pour it into ourselves and hold that space for ourselves, you know. So let's take a look. How can my pile number 3s heal? How can my pile, look at this, we have the Ace of Cups straight away. Oh wait, I'll put that there, and then I'm hearing outdated beliefs. Like, you may have been taught then in childhood, I would love to receive this love back, so I have to give and heal. You know, maybe you drew in broken birds because it's like, if I heal you, then I'll be worthy of receiving the love back. Or if I overgive and I give loads of love, where I'm seeing the void in people and I'm seeing the hurt in people and I'm seeing the pain in people, if I keep showing up space, if I let people, you know, use me as an anchor when they're grieving, I'll hold them, I'll take care of them, I'll love them. If I do that, then I'll receive it back. And then when I'm not receiving it back, there's almost this feeling of like, I feel used almost. Why would you do that? Why would I show up for you? Why didn't you show up for me? And then it triggers back down to the childhood. Well, why didn't that parent show up for me? You know, why didn't you show up for me? And I see a link there, like a partnership, making sure I'm that person's rock, or making sure I'm there and I'm holding space for them. And then when I go to lean on them, they're gone, and it's like, well, why didn't you show up for me? I feel used because I gave all of this and you didn't give it back. And then it's like I'm being mirrored back to child, and I'm like, why didn't you show up for me? Why didn't you show up? And I feel that, and allow those feelings to come out. You know, it's going to be uncomfortable, but when we sit in them and we feel them, and we let our inner child grieve, those feelings then come up from our subconscious into our present moment. And when it hurts, we know that something's being moved, because when something comes up and we're grieving and we feel that sadness, it's no longer deep rooted in the subconscious anymore. It's coming up into our present conscious awareness for it to be released and for it to flow away, you know. And we want to hold space for ourselves, self-love and self-soothing here, and nurturing yourself and giving yourself what it is that you so beautifully give out to others. I feel like that in itself is going to be very healing for you guys. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. How can my pile number 3s heal this wound? Oh. We have the 8 of Coins. I'm hearing that Halle Bailey song, Angel. Pile number... I see you support... I don't know why. I see somebody sitting there and really supporting their inner child. Like, thinking back to, like, moments in their childhood where, like, they extended themselves in some sort of way or did something to shine their light out, and I see somebody waving somebody on and being like, oh my god, like I see your adult version in a crowd kind of like waving, like yes, and it's almost like I'm supporting, I'm bigging you up, I'm giving you the love and adoration that you deserve, I'm bigging you up, I feel excited for you, I'm not tearing you down, I'm pouring into you. So there's something about that where maybe a parent didn't elevate you or lift you up or cheerlead you, and it's like you're doing that for your inner child. And then I see you in every day, like kind of celebrating even the tiniest milestones. Like maybe because I see somebody not feeling confident maybe to speak out in front of people, but then I see you speaking out in front of people, and then I see you like cheering yourself on, like, good job, you just did that. Like, and I'm cheering myself on, you know. I keep being shown as well Peter Pan, the movie with Robin Williams, when what happened, they were in like the theater. I think one of the kids had a play, and the character Robin Williams, Peter, he didn't show up to his kid's play because he was so busy on work with his work, so he didn't show up, and the kid was like really annoyed. And then the other kid had like a baseball match and he didn't show up there either, and there's this feeling of like, I feel let down, you didn't show up. So there's a feeling of that, but then I see you standing up and giving a standing ovation, like, yes, wow, you know, even over the littlest things that you do now, like, oh my god, you were so cool. Almost like taking your younger self under the wing, like, that was really cool. Remember when you stood up for yourself then? That was cool. Remember when you did that? That was cool. It's like championing yourself, you know what I mean? Kind of like gold star. Like, there's praise that I'm wanting here, you know? Pile number 3, 4 of Swords. I'm making a mess. Okay. Pile number 4, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 3. I was thinking of the 4th card. Sorry, guys. Pile number 3, please, Spirit Guides. I also want to say you don't have to be on all the time. You don't have to be taking care of everyone's needs all the time. You don't have to be looking for places to fill. I'm being shown the video for Ed Sheeran's song Give Me Love, and there's like a girl and she's an angel, and she has like a cupid like bow and arrow, and she's going around the town and she like wants to be loved. The song's called Give Me Love, so it's like wanting love in return, but obviously she's not getting that love in return, so she goes around the town with these arrows, and she shoots love, these arrows of love into people, and they kind of like fall in love, and she kind of watches them fall in love, and she's kind of, I see you guys almost like that, like it's a cupid, like wanting to see love or pour into people or make people feel seen or make people feel heard. But what you're doing, it's because you want that yourself. So it's like, if I give it to you, I'll get it back. So think of why you want to show up to people, show up for people as well. Because I see you in partnerships and friendships, it's like, I need to show up this way, but you want to show up that way because you don't want people to feel the way that you would have felt in childhood. So your shadow self would have covered that feeling. So it's like, I don't want anyone to feel like this, so I'm going to make you feel like this. And I think that's the key as well. When you stayed with said person, when you were looking for, you know, something in that person, what is it that you were looking for, and why were you choosing to give so much to that person? What is it that you were trying to have them avoid feeling? Was it shame? Was it sadness? Was it anger? Was it frustration? Was it rejection? Was it pain? Did you want them to feel seen? Did you want them to feel soothed? Because it's almost like I'm turning that arrow back towards myself and putting it through my heart then, because it's like, that's what I want. I'm giving it to you because that's what I want. That's what I want. I want to be seen. I want forgiveness. I want to be felt. I want to be heard. I want people to be my friend. I want people to hold space for me. You're chucking it out because you're wanting it back. It's the boomerang thing. And a lot of healers go through this where they'll try and heal everything in front of them, because it's like a mirror, and then the medicine is it's meant to go back. We're feeling that we can recognize the pain in you because I have it within me, so I'm going to heal you. Forgetting, hang on, I need to heal me. It's mine. I'm meant to be giving this to me. So I would also maybe contemplate on, and also maybe in connections that you have now, when you feel like you want to show up for people and you feel like you want to be there for people and all of that, take a look at why you're doing it, because naturally you're going to want to do this, because I feel like you guys are healers and I feel like you guys are very giving by nature and you move through your heart space, so you're always going to want to do this. However, I feel like where it causes splits in regards to your relationships and things like that is, we need to make sure we're filled up first. We need to make sure that we're pouring this into ourselves first, because there's a difference between sometimes when we look towards relationships, they're meant to be give and take, equal, balanced, you know. And sometimes I find this with healers and empaths, we will mix and blend relationships with people that we may want to heal, you know. We'll mix it together because a lot of the times we're drawn into these professions because we're meant to help, but then we can't differentiate between friendships and relationships and then people that we want to help. And then it has us in relationships, friendships, partnerships with people that it's almost like a, let me heal you, let me fix you, let me fix you. And then we feel depleted, you know? And we need to make sure that there's a balance there and we're understanding, why are you stepping towards me? Are you stepping towards me because you love me? Are you stepping towards me because you see me? Are you stepping towards me because you value me? Or are you stepping towards me because I have a lot of love that I'm ready to give, you know? And we also want to look at, do I want to be with this person because I see them? Do I want to be with this person because I feel them? Or am I feeling the urge to heal this person because I can see there is a wound there and I want to fill it? And yes, in relationships, you know, we are going to hold space for our partners and we are going to help heal in certain ways. That's going to happen. But not to the degree where sometimes we can fall into where we're almost like projecting. I can see all that you can be and I'm going to keep pouring into you. And then it's like, okay, my turn, and we don't get it back. And it's like, oh, you know, or there isn't a balance there and we feel depleted. Sorry guys, I had a knock on my door then and it completely knocked me off and distracted me. But pile number 3, please. Spirit guides, pile number 3. How can my pile number 3s heal these wounds? How can my pile number 3 heal these wounds? 7 of Swords. I'm just going to put this like that. Okay. 7 of Swords. And the back of the deck, what are we? Let me put this down. 4 of Swords, 7 of Swords. The back of the deck is Judgment. I'm going to cover them up, but we've got Judgment at the back of the deck, okay? Pile number 3, Ace of Cups, 8 of Coins, 4 of Swords, 7 of Swords. It really is pouring and nurturing back into yourself, because that way you can recognize what it is you're truly wanting in relationships and friendships and from the world then in a more balanced way. When we, like I said with you guys, with like mother, father, writing down what you would have wanted a mother to do, writing down what you would have wanted a father to do, pouring that into yourself and nurturing that and doing that for yourself. In doing that for yourself, it's almost creating, it's basically redoing your inner world, inner subconscious. Of course, these feelings of wounds are going to come out, but the reason that they're going to come out is you're showing this new software system of what needs to come in to make this phone work, right? You're showing it and you're going, right, you need to come in. Well, if you need to come in, this old software, it needs to come out. It's not working. So while that's being taken out, there may be grievance, there may be sadness, there are going to be feelings that crop up. But when they come out, that's them making room for the new. So when you feel these feelings and you know these feelings are being moved, welcome them, allow yourself to feel them, allow yourself to purge them, because once they're gone, it's going to have a lot of space on that phone to bring in that new software. And that new software is you showing up for yourself in the way that you deserve. All of that energy you're pouring out, pouring it into yourself, nurturing yourself, showing up for yourself, cheerleading yourself. And by pouring and pouring and pouring that back in to yourself, in doing that, that then creates this new system on the phone where it's like, well, if I want, you know, if somebody wants to use this phone, then they need to show up like X, Y, and Z. So it's like this new system is within. So it's like, I want safety in connections. I want balance in connections. I want to be nurtured. I want somebody that's emotionally intelligent and able to see the depths of my emotions, because I have deep emotions. So this is what I'm looking for. And that way your eyes are going to be adjusted and you're going to be able to see, stepping towards connections. Oh, this person's safe. This person's going to show up for me just as much as I'll show up for them. This person registers with me internally, because they have what I filled myself already with, and now it's a match, you know? Whereas before, there would have been a lack of something, and then we would have covered that and gone, oh, so there's a lack of something, so we need to pour into it. But I'm drawing in people that have that same lack, and I'm going to pour that energy into them instead, you know? That's what would have happened before, but you would have reset the system then. It's a process. But I feel like that that in itself, and also looking some things in the eye that may be, you know, a bit uncomfortable with the 7 of Swords here, because sometimes you know, we can look at it from a higher perspective, and yes, sometimes people go through things that causes them to be certain ways, but we do also have to bring that balance. Sometimes people are just mean, and sometimes we need to look at it just at face value, because we understand the higher perspective. We can understand where it's coming from, and we can understand maybe even from a spiritual perspective of, you know, they were teaching me this and they were teaching me that, and that's great because it helps us heal. But we also need to remember we're having a human experience, and we have human emotions, and we deserve respect. And sometimes, yes, okay, that person may have been wounded or X, Y, and Z, and we can see where it's coming from and we can show grace, but at the same time, that was just mean. That person didn't need to say that, or that person didn't need to do that, or that person was just careless. And we're allowed to look at it like that in black and white sometimes, and that in itself can help us see things in a more balanced way, because as well as seeing the depth and the light, we also need to see the surface level too, you know. And I think practicing that and seeing that, I feel like that's also going to help you, because it's like, yes, you went through a lot, but I went through a lot and I didn't treat you like that. Or yes, you were insecure, but I was feeling insecure and I didn't treat you like that. So yes, I see your wounds and I see where you're coming from and I understand it. But at the same time, I didn't deserve it, and I don't need to have you in my life because of that. Or I don't need to allow you access to this part of me because of that. And you're allowed to do that. You know, it's creating that balance. Because sometimes there are people out there that just don't move in the lightest ways. You know, and sometimes it's a bit hard to comprehend that, especially if you don't move like that. You're not going to see that, but sometimes we need to be aware of that so that we can be aware when these energies may come in, you know. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3. And also grieve when we have to look that truth in the eye, because sometimes that can make us feel hurt. Again, that can make us feel abandoned, and that's something sometimes we need to purge and release as well. Pile number 3. How can my pile number 3s heal this wound? We have emergence. How can my pile number 3s heal this wound? We have ceremony, invocation. Pile number 3, please. Really pouring and doing things for you, nurturing you. You know, you deserve to take that, you know, go on that spa day. You deserve to treat yourself. You deserve to lay in bed and rest if you want to lay in bed and rest. It's all pouring into self, nurturing self, and showing up for yourself in ways that you do for others. That in itself is what's going to help you grow and what's going to help you evolve from this. We have Summer Solstice Radiance. Oh, I love that card. I've actually never seen that card before come out. It's the first time that's come out for me. Pile number 3. Oh, hang on, you've got a card that's gone on the floor. We have Reflection, Winter Solstice. Reflection. Okay. Okay, and then we have Vulnerability here at the back of the deck. See, I see you going through life, knowing the key, knowing the antidote, but giving it to others, and then feeling ashamed of your kind-heartedness, then feeling ashamed of your vulnerability, then feeling ashamed of your softness, and that's not what you should be ashamed of. And sometimes I feel like you've taken on the shame of others when they've known that they might not have been acting in the best way. I feel like you've taken on the shame sometimes. You shouldn't be ashamed of that softness at all. You actually should be turning that around and pouring that into you and creating a level of boundaries, you know. And the only time we can create those boundaries in a sufficient way is when we truly know what it is we deserve and need. And that's why I call you guys to write down mother, father, and needs that you feel weren't met and that you'd like met. And also looking at ways, writing down ways in which you've maybe stayed in situations longer than maybe you should have because you've wanted to show up in certain ways. What were you trying to fulfill? Because I feel like, again, that's a mirror as to what it is you wanted truly deep down. and pour all of that back into you. That softness and that vulnerability, pour it back into you. And when you've wrote those needs down, that's your boundaries. That's your boundaries. And that's your then discernment. Because I feel like you'll be able to see then people's motives as well, especially if you're looking at things black and white. I deserve to feel safe. You're not making me feel safe because of X, Y, and Z. Okay, I'm not going to bloom with you because I just don't feel safe. When I feel safe, that's when I'll bloom, you know? There's something really strongly coming through about looking at things in black and white sometimes, because this and that are true. The depth and the shallow are true. Neither is wrong, neither is right. They're both true. So we can see the depths and the light in somebody, but we also need to acknowledge what they're choosing to represent in this third dimensional existence and how they're choosing to move in this existence. Because I see you see things from a very high perspective, which is beautiful. And that's actually something that really helps you heal from things, but also our human self and our human experience, and you know, our little human avatar also has needs and feelings that are more third dimensional that we also need to honor too, and that can help us discern this world a little bit better, you know. So yeah, pouring into you, which then emerges like the ceremony here. It's like an altar, pouring into you, tending to you, listening to what you want, giving that to you, holding space for you, all of that, pouring that into you. I feel like that's going to have you bloom. And it's going to have you see things from a deeper perspective, because as you can see with the reflection, the ice is turning a little bit to water here and the sun's right next to it. So it's almost like it's melting away. It's having me see things from a different perspective then. Because now that I'm pouring into myself, I know what I deserve. And when you're not showing up with it, I don't think this should be a kind of relationship. I don't think this should be something that I'm really fully investing in now. You know what I mean? I think that... And that's when your type changes. That's when what you truly want changes, because you actually see what it is you truly wanted from the beginning, and you're no longer looking at it through the lens of the wounded inner child. You know what I mean? It's like, I know what I want and I know what I deserve, and I'm following that. Yeah. So pile number 3, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed your reading, and I really hope it brought you clarity and helped. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.